comes out of.
And hi again, everyone. Welcome to SportsCenter along with Craig Kilborn. I'm Brett Haber.
Rasheed Wallace is feeling better. UCLA is quite a bit better. And does it get any better than Mahmoud versus Derek Harper?
We start, though, with the Sweet 16 and a major size differential of note. As a great coach, as great as he is, Jim Calhoun, even he cannot teach his team to be bigger, and that's been a problem for the Huskies. Of the 4 games UConn has lost this year, 3 have come against teams with big mounds of humanity in the middle of the floor. And, of course, as fate would have it, Maryland may have the biggest and the bestest in Joe Smith. Huskies and Terps in the Sweet 16. Terps have Joe Smith. Huskies have Travis Knight. He's little publicized, but he is big. He's 7 feet, and there he is. We'll never call him a small school again. This, however, would not help Maryland's cause. Joe Smith, he makes the block on Brian Fair, but he goes down hard, maybe on the coccyx. Some are calling it the hip. He would return in the game. Meanwhile, Donnie Marshall doing his business for UConn, spotting up 3 on the baseline. That is good. Then Marshall on the feed from Brian Fair, gets it to go at the right. He had 27 points, 9 boards. Joe Smith back in the game, trying to keep it close. The follow on the Johnny Rhodes miss, but here he comes again, that pesky 7-footer, Travis Knight, wide open underneath, and that's a big mistake, not putting the body on Travis Knight. And UConn is a winner by 10 points. The Huskies, one of just 10 teams in history to score at least 90 points in the first 3 games of the tournament. Donnie Marshall led the way with 27, and after the game, Jim Calhoun just couldn't stop talking about him.
For Connecticut to be good, he has to go inside. I think he had 9 rebounds tonight, and he has to give of himself, and he's done that all year for us. But he's been tremendous during the tournament, and particularly because our style of play. We're averaging 90-something points a game, and there aren't many guys in America. There's no forward in America, no big guy in America, 3, 4, 5 man in the country can run with Donnie Marshall. We've said that from day one.
One more win, and Donnie gets to go home. He's from Federal Way, Washington, a suburb of Seattle. And by the looks of it, he wants to get there and get there fast. Look at the difference in 3-point shooting from the regular season and the tournament. Elsewhere in the region, UCLA, Mississippi State. Jerry Rice, Tim Hardaway probably talking about the crossover and maybe talking about Tyus Edney, who, Craig, you know, broke Pooh's steal record at UCLA. He gets the shot and is fouled. Then Edney again inside. Look at the 360, and he gets fouled again. 2 on Dampier quickly. Meanwhile, Mississippi State could not hit the side of a barn from the inside. No good on a bunch of threes. They went 0 of 11 in the first half, and then Edney is back. He can pass. The alley-oop to Toby Bailey. Did we mention Edney could pass to O'Bannon the elder? Thank you, and the kiss. And then in the second, did we say Edney could pass? All right already. To Charles O'Bannon. And Jim Harrick says thank you to Tyus, both for keeping them in the tournament and also moving them along as the Bruins take it by 19. It is their 16th straight win as they search for their first Final Four berth since 1980. 21 for O'Bannon the elder in what Jim Harrick called, quote, our best defensive game of the year. Craig.
Michael Jordan week continues. The last time North Carolina met Georgetown in the tournament was back in the 1982 championship game, Michael's freshman year, and the heels went on the hands of Jordan as he buried the wing jumper. For most of America, that was their introduction to Michael. Of course, some of us already knew about Michael in high school. The Hoyas and Tar Heels from the Southeast region, and here come Carolina, the Heels. Yes, Jeff McGinnis, the wild spinning bank, and then Dante's Inferno for 3. Clock ticking down. Donald Williams, long range, he scored 20, and John Thompson down 16 early, but the Hoyas stayed close thanks to Othello Harrington. 14 first half points, Georgetown down 9. Second half, Rasheed Wallace bothered by his sore ankle. I got your sore ankle, Rasheed. Heels up 15, but the freshman, Allen Iverson El Warmo, first for 3, and then Allen. Penetration, stop and pop. Tar Heels lead cut to 4. Don't panic, don't worry. Wallace. The board and put back quickly. Carolina closes it out. Williams, the miss. Gimme, gimme, gimme. My house. Ian John, shake, greet. UNC moves on. Wallace finishes with 12 boards, 6 blocks, and scores 20 of his 22 in the second half. Allen Iverson scores 21 of his 24 in the second half. Young sportscasters, the first thing you've got to ask John Thompson after the game is Rasheed Wallace being the difference.
You talked about the play of Wallace. That thought he kind of hurt you guys inside.
No.
No, Rashid. Somebody edit that for me, will you?
Well, the bottom line, I just thought to myself before we came out in the second half that I didn't want to go home. I'm not ready to go home.
Rasheed Wallace had seen limited action in Carolina's first 2 games with a sprained ankle. Combining those 2 games with Thursday's first half, he scored just 15 points, but in only 17 minutes of play in the second half versus the Hoyas, Rasheed out-totals his 15 with 20. Hope you comprehend those numbers. They're impressive. Arizona State, Kentucky, and Ricky Pitino has his club playing impressive basketball. Tony Delk for 3. Wildcats up 6. Delk again. Kentucky up 8. Sun Devils answer. Mario Bennett wrap around a Quincy Brewer. Devils down by 5. Then just before the half, Roderick Rhodes. Release, rotation, splash! Wildcats up 8 at the break. Second half, Kentucky pours it on. Rhodes, the drive and dish. Andre Riddick. And then Tony Delk, no, but follow your shot. Good things happen, don't they? Kentucky pulling away, and then Tony has done it again, and it feels good. Super Mario, not enough. Wildcats roll. The Wildcats have now won 11 straight. Their last 3 in the tournament by an average of 31. Tony scores 26. Kentucky is seeking its 6th national title, but first since 1978. They'll meet North Carolina in the Southeast Region Final on Saturday. Brett.
NBA now, and just when the Magic appeared to be running away with the East, they turn out to be mortal after all. They suffered their first 3-game skid of the year. The Knicks have now closed to within 5 in the loss column. But like all the great ones, Shaq has risen.